Hello, everybody. Once again, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on what time zone you're on right now. We are in our on our seventh video for Facebook Live. So, as I've said on every other video I have done, if you are in the chat or if you're on live right now with me, if you could make sure you say hello to me in the chat box, I would greatly appreciate it. The more feedback, the more interaction I can get, the better it's going to be. And I know, some of you guys are just getting on. Some of you guys watch this on a recorded version. But if you are listening to me live, and I already see some people on my side of it, Diego, good to see you. I'd love to have you shout out to me because it sure makes my day when I can start to see you guys. Now, Diego, since you're the first one to put your hand or put your T, what's up? Can you guys obviously can hear me okay? I'm using technology, different technology. I did these on Monday was the first time. So make sure everybody can hear. Awesome, Eric, good to see you. Awesome, this is great. And so, and I got a different camera today. So I don't know if I look better or worse. My wife would say you don't have a lot to work with here. So obviously, you're getting what you're getting with the camera side of it. Peter, good to see you. JC, good to see you guys. So it's awesome to have you guys on here. Keep shout things out. If there's questions you guys have, things you want me to cover, please put it in the chat box. That would be awesome. I would greatly appreciate it. So I'm assuming everybody can hear and see me because I'm getting comments on that. That's great. Good stuff. I heard the sound was even better with these new ear things than the old stuff that I was trying to do. So my oldest daughter, when I got these in the mail, I got them from Amazon. Riley says to me, she goes, "Dad, those are dope." Now, I thought that was an odd thing for her to say, but nonetheless, I now am dope with my 18-year-old and my new iPods. Is it iPods? AirPods. I don't even know what they're called. Doesn't really matter. So, Haley, all the way from the UK, great to have you guys. So, today, what we're going to talk about, well, I guess a couple of things from a housekeeping. I'll say at the beginning of it today, and then I'll say it obviously at the end of our video today is housekeeping stuff. Please, 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 if you could do me a favor, I'm trying to figure out the difference between a wall and a page, and apparently I screwed it up on my Monday call. If you can go to my AirPods, thanks. I need all the help I can get. And so uh, with the with the page, apparently it's different than the wall. I guess you can be my friend on Facebook, but not be on my page. And apparently that's where you do business is on the page versus the wall. And so if you could go on the page and like that, I would greatly appreciate it. I would be totally humbled to that. That would be awesome. It's been pretty cool for me to see people that I haven't seen for a long time on here and making comments on the videos. That has been awesome. So I really appreciate that. And so anything you can do with that kind of thing. I got a YouTube channel now. Don't know what that's all about, but you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Anything that you can do, I totally appreciate it. We've got some things that we're planning, and you keep seeing the Burbank on here. There'll be a lot of stuff coming your way from a Burbank side. People keep asking me what I'm going to be doing, all this kind of stuff. Allison even gave me a hello. Awesome, Allison. Good to see you. And so anything that uh, coming up here, it's going to be related to Burbank, and that's some business partners and myself. So please, I'll be sending some emails out to some people. I'll be reaching out to some people about some stuff that we're looking to do. And tentatively, I've got a date scheduled for October 23rd, 24th, 25th. That we're going to be doing some stuff, and it's all going to be related to sales. It's not going to necessarily be real estate related. I know I've done a lot of trainings on real estate, but I'm getting a lot of comments from no haircut. I don't know what happened to my hair if it's different today than it was. Haven't got a haircut. Whoever asked that, Haley asked that. And so anyway, um, just don't think I have as much gel in it today as what happened, Haley. So there's the issue with the hair. I can't believe I'm getting off on these topics, but anyway. So the point I want to make is that on 23rd, 24th, 25th, we're going to be doing some stuff. I'm getting a lot of comments. Hey, Michelle, I'm getting lots of comments from people about the real estate stuff is great and all that, but it's the sales side of it. And I was talking to a mentor of mine. His name is Brian Flanagan. And Brian Flanagan worked for Zig Ziglar, with Zig Ziglar for over 30 years. And Zig Ziglar is one of my favorites. And one of my favorite quotes from Zig Ziglar: if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll get everything that you want. And so I totally agree with that. You definitely will get what you want in this world as long as you help other people get what they want. And that's really what it's all about. And so, anyway, Brian Flanagan worked for Zig. Zig has passed away now, but Brian Flanagan is one of my mentors. And what Brian Flanagan said to me, and his comment was very good. He said, as markets change, as we have a lot more unrest, as people get laid off, all these different things, what happens is people need to have a skill set, and the skill set that they always need is sales. That's one of the things. As long as you can sell, no matter whether the market's competitive or you're in a new industry, you're going to be able to be employable. Your business is going to be better. I don't care what it is that you do, sales skills are always going to resonate in everything that you do. Now, the leap that I want to make, and I've been trying to make this since I did my first video on Facebook, is that sales is business related. I get that, but it's in everyday life. Whether you're talking to your kids, your spouse, whether you're a teacher, a preacher, I've said that at least 20 times in these videos, pardon me, is you're always selling. And we never want to get away from that. And it's not the same kind of selling that you heard maybe when you were a kid or when you were growing up, or maybe you were in a sales class of some sort. And it's about this closing mentality. And I made this comment last week, and we were talking, or Monday when I did this, and we were talking about body language. And I think when we talked about body language, the most important thing I said was the smile. And as long as you can draw them in and smile at people, that's the first thing that we need to do. And when you start to do that, it's not about the closing techniques that so many people want to talk about. It's about the opening techniques. Can I get people? Jim Francis, awesome, very cool. It is the master skill. I haven't seen Jim. It's been a couple years since I've seen you. I've traveled with Jim in many places across the U.S. and Canada. I know I've seen he's been in the UK, and Jim's been all over the world talking about sales. So, Jim, great to have you on here. This is awesome. And so the thing with sales, and I think it's so cool, is that it resonates in everything that we do. But it really comes down to I don't want to go 1980 sales skills. I want to talk about how do people relate today. And somebody said to me, "Well, sales in a virtual environment is different than sales one on one." Well, I think we're all going to get back to one on one stuff eventually, but I don't know that I agree with that, that it's any different, because when it's all done, I still need to connect with anybody that I'm talking to. Maybe I don't get to shake their hand, but I sure can talk to them. And the nice part about it is we've gotten kind of away from traditional phone calls. Think about that. In the last 6 months with COVID, almost everybody I talk to now, I'm talking to them in this manner. So I almost go back to, and a few of you guys are old enough to remember this. I know Jim Francis is. Um, Back to the 1980s movie, Back to the Future, that was one of the big things. It was a video phone call. And even though we've had FaceTime and we've had all this technology for the last number of years, we haven't used that as much as we have now with COVID, just getting out and talking to people on on the Zooms and all the other platforms that are out there. So we can still be live with people, and it's imperative that you see that, and you need to be able to pronounce, or to promote whatever it is you're promoting in this virtual format. So how do we do that in a different way? Obviously, we've got to be able to grab the audience. You may notice that I talk a little bit with my hands. And there's, I think, even more important in this virtual world to get your point across. That's part of the body language, is talking with your hands, letting people know those types of things. But what I really wanted to talk about today was what I think the most important part of sales. A lot of people are going to say it's closing. I think opening is way more important than closing, because if you don't open the door, you can't close the door. But I think the most important part of sales, and this is how you get a customer forever, is the word follow up. I called it follow through. Now it was funny. Last night I was trying to put together this a picture on my link so that I could get a video going, and I must be part Italian. I don't know. We got to be careful. Peter, when we're talking about different groups nowadays, I don't know why it's not a problem to talk about Italians and Irish and Polish people. We can make jokes about certain groups of people. So I don't know if that's a bad thing to say, but yeah, I know the Italians. And Teresa, you're on here somewhere. You were on here. I've talked to Teresa a million times in my life, and she can't say hello without her hands. So Teresa knows what I'm talking about when I talk about the using the hands. So Peter, I think you're right. Italians love to talk with their hands. And so anyway, when we're looking at this example, we talked about it's more about the opening, but it's about the follow up. I was trying to put together a video or a link that had a picture of a guy shooting a basketball. And in basketball, and my camera doesn't even go up high enough. It's the follow through that makes for a good shooter. If you have solid follow through, and I'm sure this works in other sports. I know nothing about soccer or hockey, but I'll bet there is some relationship to that. If you're a quarterback in football, when you throw the ball, there's a follow through with that. When you're a pitcher in baseball, there's follow through with that. Anytime you throw a ball in baseball, there's follow through. When you shoot a basket in basketball, there's follow through. I don't know about some of the other sports, as I said. If I haven't played them, I don't know. I definitely don't know about cricket and some of those other sports, but it's a common thing in sports to follow through. And so the interesting thing about it is that when you follow through in sales, that's going to come back to you over and over and over. And so I appreciate the comments out there, Jim. You're exactly right. I'm totally humbled by his comments. Jim has been, as he puts on there, all around the world, and it is truly amazing that I've got people like Jim on this call. And I appreciate you making the comments, Jim. That just made my day. And so anyway, the follow through side of it is where I feel that the skill set is not as important, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. I like to use a lot of analogies related to sports because that is what I grew up playing. Now, Teresa and I talked a lot about sports and stuff over the years. The interesting thing about it is if you play basketball, that was my favorite sport growing up. To be a good basketball player, you have to have certain skill sets. And to play offense, you got to be a good shooter, you got to be a good passer, you got to have good vision, things like that. If you can jump and you can run fast, all the better. But the one thing about basketball, and I'm sure this would be the same way with soccer or probably hockey to a certain extent, is defense is what wins games. And defense has very little to do with talent. Obviously, if you're taller, you're faster, you're going to be a better defender. But the most important part about defense in any sport that I've ever seen, a lot of it comes down to one word, and that word is effort. So when I talk about follow up in sales, as long as you put out effort, you'll be amazed what happens for you. Now, I know Allison is on this call because I saw her name go up there. Allison just did a testimonial for me. Peter's done a testimonial for me. Teresa's done a testimonial for me. I should have Jim Francis do a testimonial for me. And Diego's done a testimonial. I got a lot of people on here that have done those, and I appreciate that. But the reason somebody is going to talk about you down the road is because you've kept in touch with them. What does that mean? You followed up on the original sale. And so when you follow up and you're there for people, it is imperative that you're there and you're always present. And it's not a hard thing to do. It comes down to not talent. It doesn't even have to come to a sales skill. It's basically being there, 2 ears, one mouth. Listen twice as much as you talk. Listen, lead, link. We've been talking about that so much over the last week or two with the Facebook Live videos. As long as we're listening to people, they will tell us what they want. Same way with follow up. I'll use Peter because he was the last one to ask or make a comment on here. I had Peter in a class, and I'm going to say Peter probably, I'm going to say 7, 8 years ago. Peter can put the time frame in there better than I can. And the nice part about Peter is that what happens is he's asking questions after the sale. Thanks, Jim. You're awesome. I totally appreciate it. Jim, private message me your current email. I want to send you an email, or I'll send a private message to you. And so anyway, when Peter asks questions, he's already bought a product from me. I sold him a training product, but it was after that that was more important than the initial sale. Now, I'm sure when Peter bought the product, he took comfort in the fact that I said, I'll be there to answer questions if you need me. And so when Peter starts asking questions, that's the follow up. Now, a lot of people that are in sales, they get paid their commission for selling the product, whatever it is, and then they push them off to some other person in the company. Well, the person that buys something from you, I don't care if you're selling cars or whatever you're selling, they want to talk to you. You're the person that they trusted. People won't buy from you unless they trust you and they like you. I don't care who you are. I don't care how great a product you have. If they don't trust you to a certain extent and they don't like you, they're not going to buy something from you. And so that trust is not just built in that initial sell. that trust is built over weeks, months, years. So the nice part about it, when I send an email to Peter, and I haven't talked to Peter in a couple of years now, I say, hey, Peter, I'm going to be doing some new stuff on some sales things, some training stuff. Would you be interested in doing a testimonial? And Peter reaches right back out and instantaneously sends me something. Teresa did the exact same thing. Diego, and I know I've got other people on here. It's that follow-up, that constantly being a presence in a person's life is what's going to give you the success in sales that you need. And here's the thing I think we all need to always be aware of. I One of the things that I always offer up to anybody that I've sold something to is, I'm here for whenever you need me, lifetime of support. And I know there are people that are in sales that are scared of lifetime support. How do you do that? Well, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and I've sold a good product, the people that you're talking to aren't going to need you forever. They're going to need you periodically, but the goal is to have them be satisfied with the product they have, support them with the product you sold them, and guess what? They'll come buy more stuff from you down the road. And that's because of support. And I think it's imperative that you see that by far is the most important part of sales. You can get sales and it's kind of like, and I don't have a good analogy off the top of my head. Maybe I should have thought about this before I got on the Facebook live video today. But you can have a great product, but that great product only lasts so long. The support side of it will last forever as long as you keep making yourself available. And guess what'll happen? They'll want to buy more products from you. And as they want to buy more products from you, then obviously you probably regretted that with me. Your testimonial was awesome. I don't know if I can play videos on Facebook Live, but I should play your testimonial if I could sometime, Allison. It was amazing. It was great. And so the point being is I think we just need to understand it's always about the follow-up. Allison said something very nice to me. It must be really early in New Zealand right now. So Carol, thanks for being on. That's awesome. Allison made a very nice comment. And I know Masuka said this before. I don't know if Masuka's on here, but I'm sure she'll make a comment if she is. And Allison made a comment that she needed a pip in her life. Now that may sound a little weird, but that's what she called it. And I think if there's any way that you're going to get people to talk about you, and I told you the guys this on one of my very first Facebook Live videos, I want to live forever. I want to live forever. I'm 52 years old. I'm not in perfect health by any means. And I family history of some weird stuff. So I'm not going to live forever. I know that. Mike Barrett. Oh my gosh. That was one of my best friends from high school, best athlete I ever played with was that guy right there. Spike, you got to call me Pip because nobody calls me Mike anymore. That's how long Mike and I haven't talked for, or Spike and I haven't talked for a while, is because I still go by Pip and I still call you Spike because that's just what we were. And so great to have you on here, my friend. That is so cool. And so with support and sales and all that kind of stuff, we just got to be there for people. And as long as you're there for somebody, and you continue to support them, you will live forever because guess what will happen? They'll keep talking about you. Miss Suki, you're here, of course. They'll keep talking about you. They will definitely keep buying from you. And that's what you want is you want a customer for life. You want a customer for life. If I went back to Allison and I met Allison, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago, it was Thanksgiving weekend in Canada when I met you, Allison, if I remember right. I think you said that in your video. If I went back to Allison and I had a new product that could help her, as long as I supported her on the first product, guess what she would do? She might want to buy into the new product if she thought it could help her. Why? Because of the support. Because of the support. And so 10 years ago is when I met Teresa. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it's about supporting, supporting, supporting. So I truly believe the most important part of sales in any way is the follow-up, the follow-through. Spike, you'll appreciate that. I was talking about basketball and follow through. Spike and I played. I would love to know how many hours. Mike Barrett, if you guys see the scrolling on there, Mike Barrett is on there. He was a good script friend from one of my best friends from high school. And we played basketball a billion hours in my parents' driveway and other people's driveways, and obviously anywhere we could find a place to play. And so well, I'm gonna get emotional, Spike. I really am, because I mean, somebody made a comment to me that, and I know you probably, this guy still has records at our local high school. And so, James, good to see you. Local high school for basketball. That's how good of a player he was. So I'm reminiscing, and I know if this is the first video you've been on, Spike, it's this is the way they go. I can't just talk and talk to a camera. I've got to go back and forth. I need to do this on a Zoom situation so that I can see you and you guys can talk to me. So that's going to be my goal for the next Facebook Live, would be to have this, Christy, good to see you, is to have this in more of an interactive format. I'm not sure of the technology, but my wife, I guarantee, will be able to figure that out. Me, not so much. So I'll definitely, hopefully, we'll do another Facebook Live on Friday, and I'll hopefully make it with a Zoom link as well. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I'm just not sure how to do it. And if you see the Zoom link come through, it will be the Burbank link. So, because I have a corporate link for that, meaning I can go as long as I want to. I've been on some Zoom calls where it said the call is going to turn off at certain time. Well, if you get the free version of Burbank or of Zoom, it goes off after a period of time. Our Burbank one does not go off, so we can keep going on as long as we want to. I can do 50, 60-minute Facebook Live videos like I've done in the past. And so follow up, support, follow through, whatever you want to call it, that's going to give you customers for life. And I cannot stress enough, you want to be there for people. I like seeing new people on here. James, I haven't seen you for probably 2 or 3 years. I know you're from Orlando, but you live, whereabouts in North Carolina? You're North Carolina, I think, James, if I'm not mistaken. Would you still recommend cold calling for lead generation? Well, that's up to you, Rebecca. Rebecca, do me a favor. I want you to private message me, because I'm going to get you involved with another group that we have of students that have gone through the real estate stuff. Do me a favor, Rebecca, give me a personal message, and I'm going to get you checked out, put into, and I'm not trying to keep everybody out of it. These are for people that have went through a certain real estate training, and some of you guys have done that, some of you haven't, that I taught. So Rebecca will know what I'm talking about. So Rebecca, just private message me and I'll give you a great answer. I'll give you a better answer than that. The answer is, it's up to you. Obviously, it depends on your business and what you're doing. The COVID has made a lot of stuff a little bit weird. It's helped certain things. It's made other things a little bit weird. So just please private message me and I'll get you hooked up with what you need to do on that. Okay, Rebecca? So that's awesome. I love people asking questions. And so that's part of the follow-up. If you, as long as you're following up and you're helping people, they're going to keep coming back to you. And I think that's the main point of everything with sales. And we've talked about it since the very first one: listen, lead, and link. And all of those come back together. And if we can keep linking people up with support, and even if you're too busy, Hendersonville, North Carolina. Oh, and this is Sarah. I thought it was James. Uh, but okay, well, that's very cool. I'm hoping James will get on there. He's been sending emails under your name, so I wasn't sure if it was Sarah or James. I didn't know. Awesome. Anyway, so now I got off topic. That's not shocking. I have an attention span of a gnat, and so I'm going to go in 50 different directions. But when we start talking about listen, lead, and link, if we can continue to link people back and with the support, if you're too busy, that's what I was going to say. If you're in sales and you're taking care of current customers and somebody else is supposed to take care of, customers you've already sold to, then by all means, just make sure you're following up on that, checking in on that, because that is going to continue to feed you for the rest of your life. I always been told, if you're in sales in any way, you eat what you kill. I know that sounds a little graphic for the probably the vegetarians on the call, but you eat what you kill. And James, you guys are awesome. Um, the king of follow up. Wow, I should have had you on more often. This is, I mean, and I've been putting these out there, and so I can't believe the number of views that people have had on these videos. And I know I've said this multiple times, but this is part of the sales. This is part of the marketing. Please share those with other people. Some of you guys are on for the first time, which means you haven't seen it for the first few times. Exactly right, T. Zig Ziglar. As long as you on the Zoom, you will need to remember to mute everyone. Ha ha ha. Well, that's, unless we want to have everybody talking, Carol, we can definitely make sure we get everybody talking on there. I think that would be fun. It would be like we could have like a party every afternoon and just get people together. And the nice part about it, we've got people on this one right here. We've got people from New Zealand, the UK, all over the US, and all over Canada. And I'll go back to my friend Spike, who's on here. We're from a little town in Nebraska City, or in Nebraska, called Nebraska City. It's not a big town, it's a little farming community. And so we're not from any place with any population. So for me to be able to have people from all over the world on here, I am beyond words humbled. So it's really cool to see all the different people and all the different backgrounds that you have. Spike, are you still in Weeping Water? Nobody else on the call will even have any idea what I'm talking about when I say that. So check this out. I appreciate it. That is awesome. And so I cannot stress enough. We continue to follow up with people. You'll get people that you haven't talked to in a while that'll still remember what you've done for them, and they will come back to you over and over and over again. Thando, you're all the way from South Africa. Wow. So Thando, I don't know, I can't even remember meeting some of these people. I've been in South Africa and taught, been in obviously in New Zealand, all over Australia. I've been in Canada more than most. I've been in more cities in Canada than most Canadians. Teresa and Peter, I think you will probably agree with me on that. And so it's really cool to see that. But the only reason I think you ever get people to, I don't even know what the word is, hop on your ship is to continue to support them. And that's what from the very beginning you got to do. Support, 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 follow through, follow through, follow through. The nice part about it is that will give you a whole entire foundation as you're moving forward with whatever your business is to help you be better at it. And it's the listen, lead, and link. Cannot stress that enough. So yeah, I know that I've been over Canada more than most of my Canadians on here. So I guess we could have this be the shortest video that I've done. I think my first one was 26 minutes. But as we review, listen, lead, link, we talk about follow through, follow up. I always get asked this question: how do you remember names and how do you follow through with so many emails? And I have to come down to one thing: it's just effort. No matter what it is that you're doing, and I could go back to my buddy Spike, who's on this, if he's still on there. I was not the tallest guy on the team by any means. But if you want to work hard and you want to put effort out and you want to try as hard as you possibly can 24/7, you're going to have success. It's not always about your skill set. It's not about your God given ability. It's about effort. And I think that's what follow throughs or follow up or support is all about. It's about continually supporting people with effort. How do you remember names? How do you remember or how do you follow up? It's the effort. It's making sure that you care. People won't buy from you unless they trust you and like you, and people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And those are all sayings that we've all read somewhere, heard somewhere, and I truly believe those are very important skill sets that we need in life. And you don't have to be in sales to use those skill sets. The follow up comes into your marriage, into your relationship with your kids. If you tell your kids that you're going to do something, follow up on it. If you tell your spouse you're going to do something, follow up on it. I'm not here to offer marriage advice or about parenting advice. I'm not the best husband. I'm definitely not the best dad. But I do know that people don't always want you to solve their problems. I've got a house full of girls here. I got a wife and two girls. And guys, we like to fix things. And what I found out a long time ago, there are certain things I can't fix. And so as long as you're there to listen, part of it right here, that's what a lot of times people need. I know I've gotten questions from students over the years, and James has asked me questions that I don't sometimes know the answer to, but I'm listening. And that's what a lot of people need. Hopefully, you can lead them in the right direction and link them up to the right people. Well, guess what? That just works right there. No matter what you're doing, no matter what you do in life, if you can listen, lead, and link, parenting, preaching, real estate, sales, it all works. And so I'm going to go back and I got to credit one of my good friends, fellow business partner, Sam Musa for the 3Ls, because he thought of this. We've been talking about sales and doing these videos for a while, and he and I were doing a brainstorming session one night, and he goes, "We got to think of some words, that link up together that do things." He goes, "How about the 3Ls: listen, lead, and link?" So this comes right from Sam Musa. I would never take credit for where it wasn't mine at all. So this is Sam Musa, and some of you guys on the call know Sam. So shout him out when you see him because he's awesome. He has as much energy. Everybody thinks I have a lot of energy. That guy's got energy coming out his ears. Now he does drink a lot of coffee, so I think a lot of it's manufactured energy, but nonetheless a lot of energy. So Listen, lead, and link in everything that you do. And I think you're going to be much better in everything. Vince, all the way from Toronto. Beautiful. Great to have you on here. Vince, I get to talk with you guys on Saturday night. I'm so excited about that. That's going to be fun. And so I'm not going to say much more about the sales stuff on Listen, Lead, and Link. The follow up we talked about today. Please do me a favor. I've got, like I said, the page. If you want to like it, I appreciate that. Facebook, obviously, we're all on that already. I'm going to try to do the Zoom thing. I hope I get it done for the next one. If I don't, then I didn't get the technology figured out. I just want to make sure I don't mess anything up. What I try to do is add one new thing. I've got a new camera today. I don't know if it looks better or worse. That's irrelevant, but I'm able to move it around a little bit so I can move, and that's what I want to be able to do. When we start doing real estate stuff, I want to be able to get up here on the flip chart and do a lot of writing and stuff, because I think that's a lot more in tune to certain diagrams. We're going to be doing numbers. I know some of you guys are going, you're going to be doing numbers on Facebook Live. Well, if people need real estate training, you got to figure out how the numbers work. And so that is exactly what we're going to do when we get into more of the real estate training. So there's a lot of different stuff. What I also plan to do is some of my partners from Burbank are going to get on their Facebook stuff, and I hope you guys support them. I'll let you know when they're going to be on there. You may or may not even be friends of some of them. One of them lives in Puerto Rico. Her name is Monica, so you may not. Some of you don't know her, and that's completely fine. So just to understand, we're going to have some more people on here doing some Facebook Live stuff because we want to start linking everything together with what we're doing at Burbank. And please keep an eye out. There'll be some emails coming to some of you guys. If you don't think I have a current email, private message me on Facebook and I'll get your current email. I would love to make sure everybody has that. Camera looks great. I look 10 years younger. Yeah, 10 years younger when you already look old doesn't really feel good. And I don't know if that's Sam or Anita. It sounds to me like it might be Sam on there instead of, but who knows? I'm not sure whoever it is when they start commenting. And so the point is, friend me or like the page on Facebook, like my page if you would. Send this video, share it to other people. Any other comments you want to make to me on my private message, that's great too. Please make sure you let everybody know these videos are out there. It's on YouTube. You can get all the different ones. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm not sure if there's anything else I need to do as far as promoting this, meaning as far as anything else I need to say. But this was cool. We got people from, as I said, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and then obviously North America. We'll say US and Canada, or should we say Canada and US? Either way. And we've also got people from the great country of Texas on here. Yeah, that's nice because usually Texans tell me it's the United States of Texas, and that's where Sam and Anita are from down there. So I got to give them some grief. And so, guys, please do me a favor. Just like I say on every video that I've done, go out, tell somebody you're going to be all right, because at the end of the day, we got to keep lifting people up rather than pulling people down. So make sure you find somebody in your life, turn to them today, tomorrow, the next day, and tell them you're going to be all right. We're going to do another Facebook Live video, probably Friday afternoon, somewhere in that area. So I'll do a Friday afternoon video. And so please make sure that you are back on there. You'll get the link and everything as well. Check out, hopefully we'll get the Zoom ready to go on that. And so once again, share this video with as many people as you can. I greatly appreciate it. Like the Facebook page and you're going to be all right. Have a great day. We'll talk to you guys soon.